A jean pocket, okay? It's called an angled side pocket because you could put it in something other than jeans, okay? That's what it looks like when it's finished. This is what it looks like on the inside. So you've got jeans on, you kind of know. This one just doesn't have the little money pocket top stitched right there, okay? So you have 3 pattern pieces, and those are what we're going to be working with. Okay, so the first one I've got in floral fabric. Okay, it's shaped like this. Okay, that is the lining part of your pocket. Okay, that's what sits up underneath, and you can feel it. It's usually the tan fabric in your pocket. Sometimes it's blue, but it's the lining fabric. So it can be a heavy, strong muslin. I just use some print. So you can put a print in it, just as long as it's fairly durable cotton, no stretchy or anything. Okay, so you can do some really fun things with this lining. So all I did, and that's what you'll do, is there's a notch there, you'll just line it up right there, and the seam allowance is, I think, a 1/4 of an inch. Read your pattern. Lisa, let me see your pattern. What does it say? So it says, now be careful on these because sometimes it's a 1/4 of an inch, and then down here it's a 1/2. So be sure to watch your seam allowance. It's not always going to be standard. In this case, it's a 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so we're going to sew this into this piece right here, right sides together. 1/4 of an inch, go around that curve. Okay, what do we do to inside curves?
We clip.
And why do we clip?
Because it opens it up.
It opens it up. Okay, so we're going to clip it to open up this curve. Not that we need to put anything else into it. We just want it to open up so when we turn it, it'll lay flat. Okay, then the next thing we're going to do, so here's mine sewn on. Don't press it. Mine's been clipped. Don't press it because we're going to understitch it. Okay, this is a question that you will not want to forget the answer for. Okay, it's going to be on the test. Understitching is, if anybody gets this wrong when you've got this on your phones, okay, understitching is stitching the seam allowance, or the facing or the lining to the seam allowance. Okay, there's my seam allowance. This facing has been top stitched to that seam allowance. Okay, that's really important because that keeps that facing one down flat. It helps to press this out. It helps with the curve. Now you'll say, but I want my jeans top stitched. That's fine. You still top stitch them, but you always want to understitch. Most people will sew a facing in or something like a pocket, and they'll say, well, I'll just clip it and turn it and press it and top stitch it to hold it down. It works much better if you understitch it first because then this doesn't come up on anything. So understitching, it also compacts that seam and makes that seam lay really nicely. So you simply open this up after you've stitched it and clipped it and edge stitch close to that seam allowance. Not as close as if we were edge stitching on the edge of our shirts or our collars, but about a 32nd of an inch or a 16th of an inch, about like that. Enough to hold that lining or facing to the seam allowance. Okay? So that's what it looks like. Then all you have to do, it's going to look like that. You come over here, you open it like this, and you take the iron and you press the facing, the pocket facing. That is now the pocket facing. You can pull your pocket out in your jeans and see that facing in there. Okay? Really hard. Then if you want to do some top stitching, then you'd go ahead and top stitch. But you don't have to top stitch on your sample because we've what? Understitched. And what is understitching?
Lining to the seam allowance.
Lining or facing to the seam allowance. Okay? This isn't a lining, but it's a facing, but the same difference. Okay? All right, this is now the pocket piece. This is a really critical piece because when we work on our patterns, which some of you have started and the rest of you will start, this is the actual part of the pant that's going to show. That's that part at the top of your jeans that you see right there, right there. See her jeans? Okay, that shows. That's part of the pant. That's part of the hip and part of the waist. So we're going to alter this if we change our pants, okay? So this will be made out of denim, and the pant piece will be made out of denim, obviously. This now fits, this little piece fits right here, and we're just going to line it up with our pocket piece, like this. It all fits in there, like that, okay? So, all we do is we sew this denim piece to our lining around there. Easy, right? So I've sewn it. There it is. It's not stitched to the pants, it's stitched to the pocket lining. Okay? So that's all there is. That's it. This, then when we do our actual pants, we'll baste it up here and we'll baste it down the sides. But that's now a jean pocket or a side front pocket. Okay? You don't have to serge your sample like this. I just did that because when we do our jeans, that's how we'll finish it. Okay? You can just sew 1/4 of an inch. But that's all there is to it. That's the sample. Simple? Okay, so let's work on that for